This is a special report, breaking opinions on the DDR network. And now, here's your host, Diana Watt.
Hi, this is Diana Watt, and I'm here with another breaking opinion. I just want to thank the media for once again doing a thorough job in digging up as much dirt as humanly possible on a presidential campaign. Do you know why smart people don't run for office? Because if they do, they know their lives are going to be destroyed one way or another, and they have families they care about, and they're not going to put their families through it. Because it doesn't really matter if it's true or not. The implication, the cloud of doubt is there once the media starts digging, and that's all there is to it. It takes a lot to undig. And guess what? None of us are perfect. Now, I'm not saying adultery is okay. I'm not saying I want someone who can lie so easily to the person he loves the most running my country, because he can lie to me even easier. But what I'm saying is I am tired of the media doing everything they can to discredit, and they call it vetting, a politician. I really want a politician who's made a few mistakes, frankly. I want one who's made mistakes enough and has gotten the shovel and dug himself or herself out of them. I want to know that they screwed up and figured out a way to fix their life and came back even stronger, strong enough to run for the highest office in the land. That's the kind of person I want in office, because that means they can handle the problems we have in our country. I don't want someone who's never, ever made a mistake, because that means he or she gets to make their first mistake while they're running the country, and then we all get to pay for it. Yippee! No, thank you. Instead of smart people who can handle life and know how to fix a problem, we get egomaniacs running for office who think they can have affairs and get away with it. And it doesn't matter what party they're from. They do it. All of them. I mean, not all politicians, but from every party. It's amazing that these people actually think they can get away with it. They're either huge egos or very stupid, because the equation is very simple. Affair, don't run for president. And if you can't figure out that simple equation, how in the heck are you going to fix the problems this country has? I find it amazing that people think, oh, she won't tell. Do the words Monica Lewinsky or blue dress ring a bell to anybody? Girlfriends tell their girlfriends who they're having affairs with. But there's hope for Herman Cain yet, because if anything, we've learned that you can have an affair or two and come back stronger than ever as a presidential nominee, or hopefully nominee. Gingrich has taught us all a very good lesson. He impeached it's almost laughable. He impeached a man while he was having an affair for having an affair. That one was priceless. Then he had another affair, and now he's running for president. So, Herman, there is hope for you yet. Just wait a little while and then come back. In fact, it may be the new political way of dealing with this kind of fallout. You run early enough in the primaries to have all your dirty laundry aired out, deal with all the fallout, say, hey, I'm going to reassess for a year or two, keep all that campaign money, and then you decide whether or not you're going to run again with all of that out of the way. And sure, there'll be some backlash, but it seems like a viable plan to me. Now, I want to get just a little bit into the Ginger White thing. I have to say, if we're going to bash on the adulterer, we should bash on the one they're adultering with. Let me tell you, this woman was in an interview with Lawrence Odell on MSNBC, and I laughed pretty much all the way through it at the sheer audacity of it. She says they were in a 13-year friendship, and that during parts of that friendship they were sexually active, but not for the last 2.5 years. And they were never in a love affair. No, it was strictly sex for cash. Sounds like prostitution to me. But then again, it could be blackmail, since C, she's sending him 47 texts, hasn't had sex with him in 2.5 years, yet he's still sending her money. Now, ladies, when's the last time you broke up with a guy or stopped having a sexual relationship with him and he felt inclined to give you money for 2.5 years afterwards? Well, prostitution, blackmail. Here she's sitting here in this Lawrence Odell interview, and he's handling her with kid gloves, and I'm thinking to myself, hello, why is she getting the softcore treatment? I mean, if we're going to rip the guys apart, let's at least not treat these women as if they're doing us all a public service. She wasn't doing any public service. My favorite moment of the interview with Miss Ginger White was when he asked her if she had anything to say to Mrs. Kane, and she said, "No, I have no comment." And immediately they went to commercial. At which point, her lawyer, who had been sitting silently next to her, leaned over to her and said, "Way wrong answer." When they come back from commercial break, that's when she decides she's going to apologize, and she says, "My heart bleeds for her." Was your heart bleeding for her for 13 years? Was your heart bleeding for her when you jetted off to go have sex with her husband, or when you were taking his money? Somehow I doubt it. I think the only reason you said it was because your lawyer said, don't do that again. Anyhow, she's continues to be treated as if she's some very respectable servant of the country by bringing to our attention this wayward scoundrel. Well, hello, scoundrelessness, whatever she is. She was in it too. Look, if we're going to hate the guy or the adulterer that we're going to ruin his career, let's at least not treat the other offending party with kid gloves and act like they're doing us a service. They're not, because now we have to all muddle through their mess and watch Mrs. Kane deal with it, and Mr. Kane, and all the political shifting that goes on. I am annoyed at giving the other party that's in this adulterous affair a break. I just don't appreciate that, and I'm going to call her out for what it is. So, do you think she's going to write a book? I don't know. I think that might just be the case. Maybe a good reason, because I bet you his penny ante payoffs aren't as much